How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? I am Simply Frank with Elegante Entertainment, and today I'm bringing you a video that's going to help you plan your Quinceanera itinerary or your Quinceanera planning tutorial. And this is going to be how do you plan your quince and how to organize all the events that are going to go on during your quinceañera. All right, so let's get to it. This is going to be very quick and simple way to plan your quinceañera, all the activities that go into place, and pretty much how your day is going to run from beginning to end, top to bottom. So this is going to be assuming it's a Latino quinceañera, which is most of the time it is. And you're going to be at your venue anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. Most venues are 6 to 8 hours. There are some quinceañeras that are 5 hours. But the timeline is still going to be pretty much the same. The only thing that's going to change is your dancing time. And also, depending on how many of these activities you do, that is going to affect your time. So most quinceañeras are going to start on a Saturday around 6 o'clock, on a Friday around 7 o'clock. So let's go ahead and do a Saturday at 6 p.m. start time for your quinceañera. One of the things that you may do at your quinceañera is going to be like a blessing of the quince. And that's going to be mainly for people that are religious and want to take that religious step. Maybe you're going to bring in a priest or a deacon or just a pastor, family friend that's going to do a blessing. It's going to be a very quick ceremony of the quinceañera. Unless it's the Catholic one, that's going to be more of a 15 to 30 minute, almost like a mass structure that is going to go on. You're going to want to allow anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. So let's say 6:30 is the end of the ceremony. So 6:30, then that's when, if you're going to have some tables there or some chairs, you're going to move those chairs back. It's not going to take that long to move the chairs back to where the reception area is. So at 6:30, you should be starting with dinner. Most of these venues that are 7 hours are going to give you a 2-hour dinner. If any other venue is probably going to give you anywhere from 1 to 2 hours of dinner. So we're doing a 7-hour quinceañera. So that's what this is taking into account. All right, so 6:30 dinner, then that would put you at 8:30 is when you start your formalities. Most quinceañeras will not have a grand introduction in this time frame. You could if you wanted to, but most of the time it's going to be like our Latino wedding itinerary planner, which is it's going to be on this side on the top. I'll put a card to it. I did that a couple of days ago, so we have one for weddings, and this is going to be the quinceañera one. So the formalities. Well, for dinner, if you're going to be doing mariachi, you can probably have mariachi or any other type of live musician. Or you can have your DJ play background music. And that's going to be up to your preference. If you want maybe like some cumbias, maybe you want some slow background music, romantic ballads, or maybe just some top 40. That's going to be what you discuss with your DJ and what you can play during this time. So for the formalities, this is the part you probably want to pay attention to, and you probably want to take some notes. There are several things that go on during the formalities. Traditionally, there's really no way to do it. There's no tradition that you have to follow. You can do it in any order, however it flows best. This is what I've seen the most at the quinceañeras that I've DJ'd. And the first thing you're going to have is the grand entrance. So on there, you're going to have the chambelanes and damas. They are going to be announced. And then the quinceañera And then most of the time she's going to walk in by herself or with her parents. So you want to have the parents' names and so they can be announced. And most of the time the DJ is going to announce the quinceañera, who is escorted by her parents, Mr. and Mrs., or dad's name and mother's name if they're separated, or, it just depends on the situation. The DJ should be able to make it a good experience for you guys. So that once you got the entrance, then a lot of the people go into the gifts, which would be a pretty good flow for me. So then you have the first one's always usually the crowning of the quince. So the DJ is going to have to call the person that's going to bring the crown in most cases, or the padrino of the crown, and they are going to bring up the crown. And most of the time that person might be an aunt, godmother, a madrina, or they bring it up and they do it, or they bring it up and mom does it. So changing of the crown brought by madrina. Sorry. The next thing that's usually done are gifts, such as a bracelet. Same order. Somebody brings it up and they put it on, take a picture. A necklace. These can be in any order. It doesn't have to be in this order. A ring. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but for the most part, these are the main gifts. A bracelet, a necklace, and I didn't spell necklace correctly, so let's do that. And then after that, they bring in her shoes. And same as the crown, somebody usually brings it in, maybe a younger brother, older brother, sister, and usually that goes to dad. So dad changes the shoes. Now, I know every situation is different. So if dad is not in the picture, then mom or an uncle or anybody else will be changing the shoes if for whatever reason dad cannot make it. But traditionally, dad does the changing of the shoes. So that goes for the gifts. There's still one more gift. Most quinceañeras have the surprise gift. However, you can do it there, or let's go ahead and put it there in this situation, but you can put it anywhere. So let's go surprise. And this usually goes to the godparents, maybe a close aunt and uncle, or somebody very significant to the quince girl. So now that we got all the gifts out of the way, they've been presented to her, there is some traditions that do the baile de las rosas. And that is when people bring in a rose and dance with her. And it's going to be 15 roses. If it's a sweet 16, it can be the same. It's just going to be 16 roses. And people dance with the quinceañera. They bring up the rose. They give it to her. And then they dance for a few seconds, not really minutes. And then they go back, sit down, and call up the next person. So that's the baile de las rosas. Sometimes they don't call it a baile de las rosas, and they go baile with the family. These can be aunts, uncles, cousins, and it's just going to be where the quinceañera dances with family members. You don't have to do either one, and I probably wouldn't recommend to do both of them, only because the time that it's going to take. As far as dances go, you can also do a dollar dance. This is not very popular, but it has happened where the quinceañera dances for money. It's kind of like a wedding where the bride and groom dance for money, but the quinceañera would do a dollar dance. And that is open to anybody that wants to be a part of it. They're invited to come to the dance floor and dance with the quinceañera and give her some money. It's not a bad idea, but it's not that popular. So this is another dollar dance. Is optional. The next thing that you might want to consider doing, well, actually, most of the time it does happen. This is the waltz with the court. Now, this is going to be like a waltz, a slow dance where the quinceañera dances with the court. Now, one of the things that you want to consider, and we'll just go through this and I'll talk about the choreographer in a second. The next thing is going to be a father-daughter dance. Now, I would suggest you do the father-daughter dance first. A lot of the times when all this is skipped or that's moved over to the end, it's usually the dad changes the shoes and then the quinceañera will dance with the father. That's what I've seen more often, where the dad changes the shoes, she's got the shoes on, and then they go into their father-daughter dance, which is a good transition because you already have them on the floor. Just got to take away the chair where the quinceañera was seated, and then they do the dance. So you're going to organize this however it best flows for you. Every once in a while, or if his dad is not in the picture, the quinceañera will dance with her mother. And again, more and more, I've seen it where the quinceañera dances with both her dad and her mother. Perfectly fine. Like I said, there are no traditions. So after the quinceañera dances with the father and mother, then there can be probably one other dance, just the regular dance with the court. I used to see this more often, maybe 5-10 years ago, where they danced like a cumbia or they danced just a particular song. I don't see that much, but it did happen. And then the final dance would be the surprise dance. And that is where it's a choreographed dance with the choreographer and maybe the choreographer's dancers. Usually they have dancers. And it's a choreographed dance where it's a mix of different genres, and the quinceañera and her court of honor dance it. And it's the surprise dance. Okay, so these are the main formalities that go on at quinceañeras. You can switch it up. Like I said before, you can do the dad dancing after this. So if you do the changing of the shoes, as I mentioned before, then you go into the father-daughter dance, mother dance, and then you do the waltz, the dance with the waltz with the court. That would be a pretty good flow in order of importance. Changing the shoes, dance with dad, dance with mom, waltz with the court, and then the rest of the dances, maybe family dances before the surprise dance. The surprise gift is also something that you want to play around. One of the things that you want to make sure is that everything flows in an order that's easy for you. The thing to consider with all that is having the people at the right places for the right time. The padrinos have to be prepared like during dinner, maybe at around 8:20. Tell them, hey, in 10 minutes, we're starting the presentation. Have your gift ready. And when you're called up, just bring it up there. A lot of times, padrinos are going to the card when they're announced to go bring the gift, which is wasting a lot of time. And there's no reason why you should have the bracelet, the necklace, the ring in the car while you're called up. That's just going to waste 5-10 more minutes. The other thing for, like, example, the family dances and the roses dances, just make sure people are either in line or ready to dance. And then the person that's going to be handing them the rose to go dance, have them be ready as well. So there's a lot of prep work that goes kind of behind the scenes. This is just going to help you organize the itinerary. And then, if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll be able to type and reply to you. And if there's a lot of people asking for certain advice on some of these things, then I can make a video that's going to explain it further. But there is a lot of prep work on this. I am forgetting one thing, and that's going to be the toast. The toast is one of the things that is done towards the end before the waltz. So if you do a toast, then you would do it around here in this order. So toast. And this is where, you call up the padrinos. And the padrinos are usually the sponsors, the people that help pay for the quinceañera, or if you paid, mom and dad paid for the whole thing by themselves, then the sponsors are only going to be like the godfather and any godparents that she might have had for different religious reasons or different religious sacraments. I think that's the word. But anyways, this should give you an idea. The toast is going to take quite a bit to get the people up there. It is what it is. Usually they say a few words. Mom and dad say a few words. The quinceañera says a few words. And then there's a toast made, usually done by the DJ in most cases. And the toast is nothing more than saying pa arriba, pa abajo, pa'l centro y pa dentro. That's our toast. After this, you're pretty much done. So that's going to take about an hour. So about 9:30, you start open dancing. Give it some space. So then if you're going till 1 o'clock, then that's 9:30 to 1 a.m. where you're ending your event. So that's going to give you 10, 11, 12, 1, 3.5 hours of dancing, which is a lot. Well, it's not a lot. One of the things that you're going to probably want to do is hire a band for the quinceañera. That's going to eat into the time of the DJ playing. So in reality, that 3.5 hours for the DJ is just not going to come to 1 hour. And the band is probably going to take up the rest. So make sure you hire a good band that plays a variety of music, not just one style, because if it's just one style, then you're stuck with 3 hours of band music. For example, like tambora. Maybe you don't want to do 3 hours of tambora. Maybe you do. Who knows? If you guys like dancing a lot of tambora music. But, you want a variety of cumbias, norteñas, huapangos. If a band can do those, then you're good, especially for like Mexican events. If it's more of a tropical event, then you want the band to be able to do a lot of salsa, a lot of merengue, a lot of bachata. And that'll cover, actually a tropical band is probably going to be better for a quinceañera, more better than a norteño band. It's all about opinion. It's all about what you like to dance as a family or friends. That's going to wrap it up for this video. This is going to get you started. At least you know what goes on at most quinceañeras. This is based for events here in Houston, Texas, all the areas around. And I've done to a lot of different venues. I've worked with a lot of different choreographers. And they pretty much do the same thing all across the Houston area. If you hire a choreographer, then they are going to help you with the majority of this. They're going to organize all that. They're going to make the mix. They're going to help you pick out the songs for the father-daughter dance. And they're going to help you with a lot of stuff. You're going to pay pretty good price, but they are going to take care of all this. And then the DJ just plays the music for the dinner and the music for the dancing. And that should cover pretty much everything. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to reach out to us, you can feel free to visit our website, eleganteentertainment.com, and leave us an email, and we'll be sure to get back with you guys. Once again, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helps you plan your quinceañera itinerary, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you. So after doing our tutorial, I pulled up this timeline. This is an actual timeline from a quinceañera that's going on this weekend, Saturday, November 13th at La Tranquila Ranch for Maya. This was done by the choreographer. So like I said, if you have a choreographer, he's going to help you out with a lot of this. And If you see the timeline, it's very, very similar to the one I just gave you, but this is an actual timeline you can use for yourself and copy it exactly as it is. Dinner, 6:30 to 7:30. They did 1 hour. Photos with the quinceañera, which is something that I forgot to touch on, is every once in a while they have a photo session during dinner. So they're going to have it at 7:30, which they're going to allow 30 minutes for family members to take pictures with the quinceañera. I'll add that to my timeline and I'll share it with you guys. I'll put a link on the comments for that timeline. And their presentation is from 8 to 9. Very realistically, like I said, it's going to be about an hour. Probably going to be more like 45 minutes on this one. I already looked it over. Track 1 helps the DJ know which track to play. Court of Honor, the male and female. Or Maddox should be a male name, right? Okay. So yeah, they have female and male. So they have 10 people, including the quinceañera, the chambelán de honor. Usually comes out right before the quinceañera. Track 2 is for the entrance of the parents of the quinceañera and the quinceañera. So they're going to walk in with her. And then they're going to go right into the waltz. Like I said, it can be done in any order that you want. Perfectly fine. They're going to do their surprise gift. They're going to do the brindis, the toast, thank you speech. They have a song for the background for that. I usually recommend no music for the toast because you want the words to be heard. And then most of the time people giving a toast are not professional speakers. So they usually talk very low and people in the back can't hear. So if you have a music track under that, then most of the time the music's going to sound louder than the people talking. So no music during toasts. Track number 6, father-daughter dance, half the song. Track number 7, half the song for mother and daughter dance. Like I said, a lot of the times I'm seeing it more and more. The quinceañera dances with father and mother. You know, it makes sense. You know, mother is usually the one that's very close a lot of the times with the quinceañera. So it makes sense for her to share a dance with their daughter. Cambio de ropa, they do a changing and then they go into the surprise dance. What they don't have is they don't have a surprise gift. They don't have any family dances. They don't have any of the gifts, no crowning, no shoes, no nothing. So it's going to be, and then this is probably going to be more like a 30-minute presentation. And party starts. Well, 45 minutes because the cambio de ropa usually takes 5 to 15 minutes. So there you have it. Take a look at it. This is a very simple quinceañera. No gifts are given to the quinceañera and no family dances. Just get the main things out of the way and let's get to dancing. And once the DJ starts, 9 o'clock, they're going till 1 o'clock. So it's going to be 4 hours of dancing. All right. Hope this helps. You get to see an actual quinceañera timeline done by a choreographer. This was not done by me. This was done by the choreographer and we just follow along. Alrighty, thank you.